All right, third grade, welcome to your last workday on our digital drawing project. Remember, this has been created in Keynote, so your first step today is to go find your Keynote app and open it up. You're then going to look for the presentation that we've been working in. Remember that this should be an animal. Hopefully you gave yours a handy-dandy name so that you can find it. I was working on a dog, so I'm going to scroll down and find that presentation. You're going to click on your presentation to open it up. You're then going to tap twice on the area where you have drawn to get the menu, and you're going to select Edit Drawing. This will help make sure that you only have one. So now you have all of your tools and you're ready to get started. I'm just going to delete these shapes that I don't need anymore. Remember, your line tools are over here. You've got the marker, the pencil, and the crayon. If you tap on them a second time, you get an option to change the size of the mark and its opacity. Opacity is how far you can see through things. So if it's really high, you can't see through it, and if it's really low, you can see through it a lot. You should be working first with that line tool to describe your animal. So I'm gonna zoom in here by pinching with 2 fingers. You can move your artwork around also with 2 fingers. And I'm just using the line tool to describe the way that my animal's texture is. So for me, I've got a furry animal. I can load colors by tapping on the circle, swiping to the left, and getting that eyedropper tool so that my colors are more realistic and true to my animal. And I'm just doing my best to really describe my animal first with the lines, and then I can fill in with that paint tool again. So again, I can move it around with 2 fingers. I can zoom in and out with 2 fingers. I'm gonna zoom in again. I'm gonna finish some work up here on the dog's forehead before I transition into the paint tool. Again, I'm working with the line tool. The crayon and the pencil will give you some visual texture. You can tap the circle, swipe to the left to load colors. And once you're done with the line tool, you can start with the paint. So one way is to draw with the paint tool. You'll see a dashed line that then fills. The other way you can use the paint tool is to work from a closed shape that you've drawn with a line tool and then just tap in that shape. The paint is always going to sit behind any lines that you've drawn. I'm going to use a wacky color here so you can see that nose shape. So you can see I created a closed shape, then I can tap in there to fill it. I can switch the color either using the lasso tool or just tapping again with the paint tool to fill. So now it's more of a black, which is true to my dog. Again, I can draw with just the paint tool. You'll see a dashed line that appears where my finger has drawn, and that inner shape between that dashed line is what's going to fill with paint when I let go. There's my shape. I can click the lasso tool to adjust that shape a little bit if I need to. Paint will overlap paint. So whatever the last drawn paint shape is, that's the shape that's going to be on top. Anything else will sit behind it, except for lines, which always come to the front. So I'm going to fill in with a paint shape maybe behind the ears. Can zoom out again, fill in that paint shape. You should work to not only fill in your animal today, but to also fill in your background. So you can either choose to keep the background that you have in your image or create a different one. But I would like you to fill in your background today to really make this feel like a finished digital drawing, a finished work of art. When you are done, you'll hit the blue done at the top. Then you're going to move your photograph from behind your digital drawing so that it's just your digital drawing. If you've done a nice job and are more finished than my drawing is here, you will not have any problems with your background being white. I'm going to switch my color by clicking on that paintbrush, then going to color and selecting something that'll help my drawing to stand out. Now I'm going to take a screenshot. So you can either use the combination of buttons or your magic button to take that screenshot, because we're going to post these to It's Learning. Please tap on that little screenshot and crop it down so that it's just your digital drawing here, because I only really want to see your artwork, not what Keynote looks like. You can move that little bar over so that you can crop it from the bottom. Then you're going to hit done in that upper left hand corner. You're going to hit save to photo so that it's there for you. Then you're going to back your way out and head over to It's Learning. You might have to sign in, otherwise you're just going to go to our grant art course. So let's wait for it to load here. So I'm going to click on courses down at the bottom, then I'm going to hit art grant, and yours should open up directly to the grade level numbers. You're going to hit the 3 for 3rd grade, which is that green one there. Then you're going to find yourself in our 3rd grade folder. Please scroll towards the bottom. You're going to find one that says digital drawing. Make sure you're clicking on the one that has a little piece of paper icon, not the chain, because the one with the paper is our assignment, the chain is a video. You're then going to be clicking the green button to answer the assignment. Remember, mine looks a little bit different because I'm on teacher mode here. And let's see if it'll load on this first try. So I'm going to find the name that I want. And thanks for your patience, 3rd grade. I do want to mention while we're getting this straightened out that you are welcome to borrow styluses again. I will be counting them at the end to make sure that they all get back. Please be gentle with these because they are an art room tool. And there we go. Now we're in the right class, which will hopefully load for us. I need to submit on behalf of somebody in order for you to see the steps that we want to see. Remember, you are just going to be hitting that green button and then following the rest of these steps. You might find that you need to rotate your iPad here and drive it in portrait mode rather than landscape mode, depending on how itslearning loads for you. I found that portrait mode works better with itslearning. And it looks like it's going to kick me out, so let's try it again. Try back going to that digital drawing assignment, and I'm going to find a name to submit on behalf. Thanks for your patience, 3rd grade. Alrighty, so you're going to hit your green button, and then your screen is going to look like this. We used to click to enter text, but today you are going to need to hit add files. Once you do that, you're going to see this pop-up menu. You want the top one that says files. And then today we're going to go from that middle option, photo library. You're going to click on that. It should bring you to your photo library. You're going to click all photos or recents, then click on your image, then click done up at the top. You should watch that bar turn from green, then back to white. You can scroll down and hit your green submit button. Make sure you wait for it to load. Don't just exit out right away. Once it's loaded, you should see in blue, not corrected. And then you should see the name of your file. You might not get to see that preview, but you should have that file name. It'll be a really long combination of letters, and then JPEG for JPEG. So as long as you've got that there and not corrected in blue, you should be good to go. You can then exit out and return to a choice time option. If you need to review any of these steps, you can go to that resources for all folder for how to post to itslearning. There are also some handouts that can show you those steps as well that'll be available on the supply store today. So remember, your goal today is to finish your digital drawing and post to itslearning. I'm going to exit out here, and I want to show you real quick an example of a finished work of art from 3rd grade in the other class. So let me just pop over here and grab that. Alrighty, there we go. So this 3rd grade class has been posting to Seesaw, which hopefully we'll get to do soon. So here is an example by Jack from one of the other 3rd grade classes. And you can see that Jack really took his time to describe his parrot. You can see that he also took his time to describe his background, really filling it out so that it's all his work. None of the work is just the photograph. So that's what I want to see, 3rd grade. Thanks for listening.